Next, we're going to talk about Kenley Jansen, right?
Got to talk about Kenley Jansen. We're going to shift gears drastically here. We got to talk about old friend, Mr. Kenley Jansen. He goes out and picks up career save number 400. So that was really cool to see. You know, you wish it wouldn't be with Boston, but it is what it is. At least he's got the Dodgers East over there with him because he has JT, one of his boys. That's one of his best friends in baseball. Right there alongside him. Kike, another dude who's been around him for most of his career. And then you have other guys, you know, Doogie's there. I don't know who else they have over there at this point now in Boston, but it's really cool to see. And there's a lot of touching moments around the thing. And also, you got Kenley Jansen touching 99 with a cut fastball now. Don't know where this guy came from, but yeah, this talks about some Kenley Jansen.
Yeah, so the first thought, well, first of all, I couldn't be happier for a guy that was a converted catcher that went on to be one of the best relievers in the game, that went on to make over $100 million in his career. He's already won. The question here, though, is does he belong in the Hall of Fame? Is he a Hall of Famer? And I think, for me, the answer right now is no. Do I think he belongs in the Dodgers Legends group? I do. Do I think if there was a Hall of Fame for relievers, he would be in that? I do as well. But if you look at Kenley Jansen, for his career, he's sitting at 400 saves. That, of course, 350 came with the Dodgers. If you look at his WAR, sitting at 20.5, three-time All-Star, two-time reliever of the year, a two-time saves leader. But look, I think what he's missing is those indelible postseason moments. And he has pitched a lot in the postseason. There's no doubt about that. He has had success in the postseason, but you don't think of him getting the final out in the World Series. You saw what happened in Game 2 when he blew the lead to the Astros. Marwin Gonzalez gets that home run. You think of Game 4 in 2020 where he blew that lead. So there are some moments that you look at Kenley Jansen and you say, oh, it's the California Adventure. It's a guy that couldn't get it done on the biggest stage, but his productivity throughout his career is undeniable. If you look at right now, he's 7th all-time in saves, and he can catch Billy Wagner, who's at 422. He can catch John Franco. He can catch Frankie Rodriguez. But the reality is, Billy Wagner, he isn't in the Hall of Fame, and he's a guy that is going to fall off the ballot soon. And he has more WAR at over 27.
I mean, him not being in the Hall of Fame, that's more a travesty on the Hall of Fame voting than anything, in my opinion, because they've never respected the old guard of voters. Did not respect the closer because that at the time the one inning save was a newfangled thing. They only liked the old school dudes who either threw a complete game or came in and threw a 3-inning. Through the last 3 innings to earn the save because you had to put in the work to get the save back in the day. So you get these old dudes out, and you get some of the people who understand the game now in there. I think Kenley could be one of those guys. He's not going to be a first ballot, but he can be one of those guys that ends up in the Hall of Fame. And he's still got some years in the tank. He very much loves his job. And he wants to keep doing this. So, you know, I don't think he's getting to 500. But he did put up a 41 save year last year. He's looked really good with the Red Sox so far. 0.77 ERA. I think only 7 saves because the Sox aren't that good. I think. I don't know. I know they're not in first place, so that's all that matters. They're not even in second place. Shout out to our Orioles. But in reality, Frankie Rodriguez probably should be a Hall of Famer because you need to reward people that do this job, and it's one of the more lucrative jobs in baseball at this moment.
Yeah, no, I think it's a specialized. It has gone down, and I think when Hall of Fame voters look at that, they're going to say you don't have the innings pitched like you see some of those other relievers that are in Cooperstown. And right now, there's only 8 relievers that have made the Hall of Fame. We're talking about a sport that's had over 20,000 big leaguers, only 8 relievers in the Hall of Fame. And you got guys like Dennis Eckersley, who has experience as a starter. You got Raleigh Fingers, Goose Gossage, Lee Smith, Bruce Sutter, Hoyt Wilhelm, Trevor Hoffman, Mariano Rivera. I mean, I don't think Kenley Jansen fits in with those names as of right now. I think if he has 2 or 3 more years where he's productive, he's getting close to 450 to 460 saves, he also has some postseason moments, maybe you could have that conversation. But right now, the reality is if the question is, if his career ended today, would he be voting the Hall of Fame? It's unequivocally no. He would not be enshrined in Cooperstown. And I'm a very small hall guy. Look, sorry, man. I'm like an exclusive club in LA. Okay? You can't get in. All right? Like, you have to be so great. The bar for the Hall of Fame, first of all, you would have to let guys in like Wagner, maybe Kimbrel, maybe Frankie Rodriguez, other guys that had really strong careers, other guys that had postseason success. But I think right now he comes up short. But I still think, like I said, this guy has already won in life. A converted catcher that has gone on to be the reliever of his generation, one of them.
The story is definitely something bigger. But also, if you're talking about playoff. The playoffs meaning something, and that story meaning something, you can't not look at Frankie Rodriguez as an option for the Hall then, because dude in his rookie year helped win a World Series for Anaheim.
Yeah, no, I'm actually pretty high on the idea of Frankie Rodriguez in the Hall of Fame. I mean, if you look at his numbers, he actually has pitched a lot in the postseason, 36 2/3 innings. He has that World Series that he basically put that Angels team on his back. If you look at his rate stats, his count stats, they're definitely impressive. But, I mean, if you look at his WAR, he's at 24.2. Billy Wagner's at 27.1. The flip side on Billy Wagner, though, is he retired a little early. Also, he only pitched like 11, 12 innings in the postseason. Didn't have those moments. I think you have to stick in the voters' minds as a guy that went off in the postseason, carried a team like Mariano Rivera. And yeah, Kenley, he could get there. That's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is not like, let's say he got his 400 save with the Dodgers, right? And it was that version of Kenley, you'd be like, oh, nah. But no, my man's hitting 99 now. My man is looking like he's turned back the clock, and it's vintage Kenley. So if he puts together a couple more quality years, maybe it's a possibility. But another thing I want to ask you, though.
All I'm learning in hearing you is that if you have like one or two good postseason series, you're a Hall of Famer. So welcome to the Hall of Fame. Welcome to Cooperstown, Joe Kelly. Let's go. Didn't do it with the Dodgers, but
look, so that's what I'm saying. Look, there's a higher bar for closers.
There's a higher bar
John
because
Lackey
of
had
somebody like you who doesn't vote in
small hall.
The people that put in the work.
You got to get bottle service. You got to get
it's about time, and it's about what am I looking for? Counting stats in their job. These are some of the best people in their field. You're talking about. Somebody who's 7th on that list, so there's 6 people ahead of him, and there's only, of all those people, there's only, 3 people in the Hall of Fame that are on that top 6 list? That's a little weak. It's a little weak to me, and that's, again, to me, that's just a symptom of the old voting style. They did not appreciate, they did not respect the save as it became, in the Eckersley era. They didn't respect that one-inning save. But we want to know your guys' thoughts. Is Kenley a Hall of Famer, and did the Dodgers make a mistake letting Kenley Jansen go? But there, put you on the spot, called out your ish.
I still feel good what I said.
No respect for Kenley Jansen.
A lot of respect. I mean, you bring up the innings. Raleigh Fingers, he has 341 saves, but he has pitched over 1,700 innings. So that is really the big difference in voters' eyes, because back then you were talking about relievers going 3, 4 innings possibly to end games, where Kenley more of a specialist. We've seen him go multiple innings. But yeah, right now he's really in the Hall of really, really good.
That's fair.
Not in the Hall of Fame, but it's still
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer right now for sure.
Yeah, I think he almost picked the wrong team, too. I think he picked the wrong team. If I was Kenley Jansen, I would have gone to a team, get some stats, get a bigger opportunity to have an impact in the postseason, because I think that's going to go a long way in cementing his legacy. And, yeah, I think, look, there's only 8 of those guys. It's just like kickers in the NFL. There's only 4 kickers that are Hall of Famers in the NFL. Vinatieri would probably be a first ballot. I want to get into the weeds on that. But, I mean, you look at Kenley Jansen, he's a guy, I would love to see him in the Hall of Fame, but a question I want to ask you, though, is when you see the success that he's having, last year, led the league in saves, had 41 saves, something like that. I think it was 41. This year, he's touching 99. He's looking really good again. If you look at his contract, 2 years, $32 million, yeah, that might be a little high, but this is a Dodger team that has told us, wait, we kind of want a established closer. We made a trade for Craig Kimbrel to be that guy. This year, Daniel Hudson, he would be that guy. Do you think the Dodgers made a mistake in letting Kenley Jansen go?
I mean, it's a tough question. I was okay with it at the time, letting him walk, but that was also not the plan. They did want to bring him back. He wanted to come back, but in that odd period, just coming out of the lockout, they wanted to clear some payroll. They couldn't figure out how to do that in time, and he said, look, I'm going to go out and get some money. The Braves want to give me money. I'm going to take it right now. I need that security. I need to know that I have a job. We don't know what kind of offer the Dodgers were even going to throw on the table. We know they wanted to cut that money. They found a way to do it with the Pollock Kimbrel swap. All that said, it's easy to say right now, yeah, they made a mistake. But at the time, we know what he was like in 18, in 19, in 20. He wasn't he wasn't how he got back to being in 21. You didn't know which version you were going to get. And even technically in 22, he wasn't that good. He had a 3.5 ERA or something like that. To the question, no, they did not make a mistake. Right now, would it have been nice had they brought him back, here for 23? We can definitely say, yeah, but that's the added benefit of hindsight. But what do you think?
I think, look, you look at the deal he signed with the Braves. It was a 1-year, $16 million deal. It was essentially the same as what Kimbrel was being paid. Mm-hmm. If there was a possibility, we know that Kenley was still in talks with the Dodgers, and he, like you said, he just didn't want to wait. We also know that the Braves kind of want to get one up on the Dodgers after the Dodgers had just signed Freddie Freeman, so I think there was some gamesmanship in that. I think if you could have gotten Kenley back then on a team-friendly deal, he could give the Dodgers a little bit of a hometown discount. I think that would have made some sense, especially when you consider Tommy Kenley, Blake Trine, and some of these guys really haven't worked out. Kenley, he's going to post. He's going to be out there on the mound. When you consider you can miss bats, you consider barrel rate, his fastball spin, and the evolution of Kenley, his extension, I would have kind of liked to see him end his career with the Dodgers. I think looking back, we still can, but I mean, I think I need peak Kenley right now. Imagine him getting his 400 save at Dodger Stadium. It would have been electric, but
really nice.
But it didn't happen. So, he's with the Dodgers East, right? Boston Blue Sox.
At least he had Kike. He had JT there. That was pretty cool.
Dodgers retirement home.
Carl here says Jansen's time at the Dodgers ran its course. That's a really good point. It's like when you compare him with Kimbrel, you'd rather have had Jansen. 100% last year. But I agree with that. It did run its course. And, most of 2018, 2019, 2020 version of this show, a lot of it that was dedicated to talking about Kenley and all of the problems. That just really happens with the nature of the closer. You do that, you fail that job at the end of the game, then all eyes on you. But I took a good stretch of being really bad for us to start talking about Alex Vesia this year because he wasn't a closer. But anyways, congrats, Kenley Jansen. It's really cool to see. Save 400. Got the boys there. Awesome tribute video they put together. They got cameos from everybody. I think they had to pay.
Dropped a bag on Cameo.
Yeah, they had to pay the $95 to Kershaw and Joe Torre in there. AJ Ellis with the pop up in it. Pretty cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, and I said one
a little bit.
I said when they didn't use it. Dodgers DM or something like that.
Man,
yeah,
didn't use yours. They didn't use you on nice tweets.
Nice tweets. Jeez, got shafted. But hey, this also begs the question too: Kenley pitching much better outside of LA. Cody Bellinger playing much better outside of LA. Craig Kimbrel joins the Dodgers. He's a bust. This whole notion that everyone that puts on this Dodgers uniform turns to gold, if you really look at, I think it's a casual take at this point. I have to admit. I think there's a lot of success stories. There's a lot of success stories, no question about it. But Noah Syndergaard's another example. It seems like for every great reclamation project, you can point to one that wasn't as successful. So yeah, you have to feel good for Kenley Jansen. I hope that he had success for the rest of his career. Don't think he'll end up in Cooperstown at the end of the day, but man, a hell of a run by the big fella.
So DKM has a question here, and I'm going to end it with his right here. But instead, I'm going to change it slightly because he says name the top 5 greatest closer entrances of all time. I want the top 3 greatest closer entrances of all time from you.
Mariano Rivera, definitely number 1. I think Kenley Fournier, I'm a big Tupac fan. Pretty much my favorite artist of all time, so I'd say Tupac, California Love, number 2. Then, yeah, you have to go Eric Gagne.
Thank you.
You have to go Eric Gagne as number 3. But I think Eric Gagne, that was one of those things. Remember that Twitter trend a few years ago, you had to be there? That was the ultimate you had to be there in Dodger history. It was before this nice Dodger stand that you know today. The shapes of the scoreboards were different shapes. It was a little run down.
Back then when they wanted to start Dodger Stadium, they had to crank it.
Yeah, exactly. You had like an 8-bit game over graphic when he was coming out. But
Beardy
that
shirts.
Literally, look at, I have goosebumps.
Oh, he does. Look at that.
I literally goosebumps.
Checked. It really was. I
have goosebumps just thinking about it.
It was, the adage
I'm moving him to number 1.
I was surprised you didn't. I understand he was put on the spot, but the adage was or is Dodger fans arrive late and leave early. You did not leave early in the Eric Gagne era. It was brief, But damn, was it a good time.
It was.
Y'all kids missed out.
No, that was like he was the biggest star on the Dodgers. I mean, 82 consecutive saves. It was unbelievable. I mean 84. Sorry, 84 consecutive saves. He was unbelievable. So yeah, no one will ever forget that era, the game over era. And it's pretty much all we kind of had at one point. All we had to look forward to. But
it's a good pitching.
Yeah, 2004 was really good. Yeah, I mean,
03, 02, 03 rotation or all the pitching staff was really good. Setup man Guillermo Mota.
Oh man,
Dallas Perez.
What was his number? 58.
Pretty sure
59. 59.
No, you bring the facts.
I love Guillermo. I used to know how to read those. I didn't know how to read those names back then, so I was like, I love Guillermo.
Those names.
I didn't have, I didn't read any names.
Guillermo Mota.
Guillermo Mota.
No mames, way. But guys.